And we're back. Father Moo on the Nord Micromodular again. Wow, those are some high-pitched tones. Today, I think I'm not going to make a patch. I think I'm just going to look around for some interesting, weird patches already created in the past, either by me or by somebody else. I'll try to give credit wherever credit is due, but often I just don't know who made those sounds, including this one, which I found and which was originally called Sleeping Japanese in My CPU.pch. It's made by someone in 2002, which, since I didn't own this since in 2002, was not me. I think I got mine in 2004. So yeah, just another weird. Why do I like to go through the old stuff? Especially because of variety. You can just see the depth, the amount of difference you can get from a modular system. It's not that only the Nord Micromodular can do that. If you build your own Eurorack system, or honestly any format system, will give you an awesome blank pad. It doesn't have to make things like that sound like a 303 or sound like Giorgio Moroder. Not that there's anything wrong with Giorgio Moroder. You can just do so many things, such as whatever the heck it's doing right now. And yeah, so let's just start diving and look up some weird patches. I can't guarantee all of them will sound good because I haven't done any preparation here except to archive patches over the years. I'll try to recognize some based on their names, but as you can see here, some of them just have numbers. These weren't made by me either, so it doesn't really help me when I'm trying to come up with something useful and listenable. Let's browse around here. I think this is made by me. Let's try it. It looks like a Frank-based patch. Well, it's named 7-Bit Cruft, so yes. Oddly enough, although this is... oh, I see. Over here, it's an actual audio in patch. Ooh, that's the one kind we can't really demo for you. Oh, it makes the sound by itself, though. So I guess it has audio inputs and it makes sound. What an odd combination. You'll see that there's no levels on audio in 1 here because I don't have a CD player or other input source to give him, but it sure does make a weird sound. It's somewhat tuned. For those of you who haven't seen it before, this little thing here, keyboard floater, it basically emulates what it would be like if I had a MIDI keyboard hooked up to the Micromodular to play notes. It only lets you play one at a time, or it lets you have like a drone where it will hold the key down or repeat, which does what you think. Just repeats one note. So it's a great functionality to have in a situation like this where I don't have a keyboard hooked up. So yeah, it did make a sound. This is an odd combination of both a tonal patch and also an audio processing patch. What was I trying to do when I came up with it? I don't know. You can see here both audio channels run into a 7-bit digitizer, and it is called 7-bit mono 2, and those then run into the mixer and just get mixed in with whatever the keyboard is playing. So, for example, you could run a normal drum pattern into here. It would bit reduce it in weird ways and let you play notes along with it. But you'd only hear that drum sound when one of these keys was pressed down. Oh, is that true? Maybe not. No, the keyboard is controlling the tonal part. So no, it has its own mixer for that. And there's a bit of chorus here that we're not really hearing. Anyway, not what I was expecting, but definitely a Frank-made patch. Here's another Frank-made patch. This is sort of ongoing, distorted wobbly Game Boy type sound. It is named 13th Bit Game. I guess we're experimenting with FM here with the two-op sine wave FM as the sound source. And weird little sequences coming from that. Let's see what else we got in here. Ambient Zitar. I don't think I made this one, but I'm happy to try it out. Let's go. Oh, it sounds kind of like a sitar. It's requesting 2 voices and requesting 32 voices and giving 2. It would be nicer with a chord, I think. I hear the sitar part of that. When I demo a pitched tone like this and I can't really play a phrase on the keyboard floater, I feel it's kind of robbing you of how it should sound. Like, a lot of people don't get this. If you make a trumpet-sounding patch on a synth, and then you play a keyboard, and you play Bach on the keyboard, and it's not a trumpet type of phrase, you're not going to get anything trumpet-like. You have to play the patch in a way that allows it to sound. And with little old keyboard floater there's not much I can do to bring that out. Some of these I think we went through before. Let's try Busted Machine. Here's a weird one. I'm gonna mess with the knobs. Yeah, that's a Busted Machine all right. Different little bits here are playing back at different times. The sequences are not in time. You can see one clock gen is at 88 and one's at 90, but they're both under the control of the knobs. So by twiddling the knobs, it'll actually make them slower or faster. Just a bunch of chaos from this patch here. But interesting stuff. I can actually see this being usable in certain contexts. A lot of variety is actually hidden in there. Weird stuff. Thanks, Busted Machine. Oh, I remember this one too. I think I had this loaded in as a playable patch for a long time. Yeah, there it is. So look at how little is actually being used here. There's stereo chorus, but if I was to take that out and just plug this into the outputs, I bet I could get even more voices. Yeah, now the voices are at 8. This is a very playable patch. It's got a very typical sort of growl to it that we usually associate with the filter, but there is no filter here. There's 2 oscillators, an envelope, and another envelope, so everything you're hearing here is being done with FM. And I have the feeling, I'm just going to set this to repeat here. Now I'm going to mess with the wheel parameter. So the modulation wheel takes you from a note to craziness. So you can go from the phrase to the oddness and back without, losing it completely. I think that is quite a usable preset to play back. You know what? Let's start another trend here. I said I was going to save all the patches in the synth that we made, and you can see the first 5 here. But what if I go to the other end? There's no real way to organize the patches here, but my system is going to be this. If I find anything I think is a playable preset that I might use in a recording, I'm going to dump it in the synth's memory starting at patch 99, which I've just done. That one is without the chorus. I wonder if I should put the chorus back in. Let's reload it and see how many voices we get with the chorus. Where are you? FM's in it. Yep, straight there. Down to 4 voices, but I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the original FM's in it into the synth. Because I try to keep the micromodular in some kind of condition where I can actually use it, not just demonstrate odd sounds. And another one we heard in a much earlier session was amb FM pad. Let's just revisit that for a second. Another very low module preset, meaning they didn't need much to make it. This is Frank's version with the digitizer. Let's listen to it again. Let's do the repeat thing. So that's what he sounds like. Let's move the wheel. So it's doing weird, wobbly LFO stuff. But I like it, and I also think that will be quite usable. So I'm going to dump that one into slot 98. Why? Because usability is key. It's something I can't forget to do. So as we browse around here, if I find something I like, I'm just going to drop it in there, just so you know what I'm doing. We heard a nice hallucination before. What's new Drum World 01? Let's find out. Ah, yes. This is a preset I made a long time ago. It has some regularity to it with the kick and the snare, but it's got enough variation to be interesting so you can run it and improvise over it. Do some knob tweaking. Oh, you heard that? When I turn the blue knob, we got another tone in the mix. So a lot of variation here. Digging it. So, new Drum World, it does what it says on the tin. Good enough. Let's keep on diving here. We're in a folder called 2012. I want to see what this so-called Celtic 02 is. I don't believe it's going to be that Celtic, but I want to hear it. Okay, we got a playable one made by some guy named Marco Etlich. That's a name I recognize from Nord patches, but not from other synth stuff. But let's see what we got. Not bad. Try it lower. It's a pretty cool sound. Yeah, I'm liking it. Let's mess with the knobs up here. Vibrato. How about this one? Not sure what that's supposed to do. Oh, this is just velocity, which is mapped to level to give you some velocity control. up an octave if you want with that knob. So let's stop it here. Look at what he's done. This guy is smart. Starting with colored noise into a filter, which goes into a vocal filter. So, although later he has an envelope and an LFO, he actually has to connect the note out of the keyboard into the frequency of the vocal filter to give it those notes, because there's no oscillator here. You realize that? And then down here, he's got ring mod 1. I don't know why you have a ring mod if you only have one audio source. His second source seems to be LFO A1, so maybe it's actually amplitude modification and not ring modification? I'm not really sure. As we remember, when we turned up that wheel, which is the red knob here, we got a vibrato, which would, I guess it would make sense if you had an LFO plugged into it. Okay, sure, yeah, sure. So maybe he saved a little processing power by doing this configuration. I don't really know why. Anyway, I dig you, Celtico 2. And we got 3 voices on it. So again, for things I'm saving at the bottom end of the synth, I want to hope they have, or most of them I'm going to hope have more than one. Oh, did I almost save over a cool sound? Let's just save him into a different highly numbered number. I remember Squash Bell as being cool, but there's also Squiz Bell. I think I'm going to put him here in 95. And yeah, can we call those up? Here's Squash Bell. I just used the buttons on the synth to call this guy up. Let's see what Squash Bell is doing. Yeah. A drifting digital bell-like patch. This is definitely the kind of thing I use a lot on the Nord. And we get 4 voices of it. Okay, I'm glad I didn't save over this one. Let's just leave him there. Maybe some future session, if we have an actual MIDI source, we can play some of these back more melodically. This is Squiz Bell, which, as you can see, is a variation on the other one. Again, let's analyze the patch. This is genius. Not that I made it. Some guy named K-Lex did. The note from the keyboard is controlling a percussion oscillator. That's the whole patch, except that the percussion oscillator is going into a phaser. And I think this is the work of Frank here in column 2. There's a random generator added to the phaser to make it change more over time. Probably the programmer made the velocity adjust the center frequency of the phaser. And then this again, I suspect me adding the digitizer and giving that some randomness too. Why do I suspect myself? Just because I know how I think, and especially in the early days of programming the synth, I fell back on the same old tricks because I only understood so many things. So when I see a low frequency random generator, or in fact 2 of them, and those being mapped to certain parameters to make it change and wobble over time, I'm just like, Frank, that's definitely you. So again, I robbed processing power here, but I still get 4 voices, so Squiz Bell is still doing a good job. Interesting. Just for fun, let's keep dialing down here. There's where we saved. Now I'm on patch 95 of the synth. It's Celtico 2. Here's something called Shms. Not as usable. Not terrible, but not amazing. Okay, I don't really have a problem saving over that one in the future. That's all good. Yeah. Some DX7 patches. Some of these we've heard Frank play back before. I think this might be a good patch. Here we go. Okay, we got lots of modules here and only 2 voices it's delivering. Let's hear it. Sounds like a Kodo. So I'm not really playing that song. That was just coincidence. Yeah, someone's gone to a lot of work here to make a relatively realistic sounding koto. And 2 notes. It's good, but I don't think I'm going to be using this one anytime soon. I would give you credit, Koto Maker, but I don't know who you are, so I can't. Hey, that's a neat name. Double Bit Death. Awesome. Let's do it. And it's not as cool as I thought. It's an audio processor. All it does is it sends the audio signal into 2 digitizers that have got random knobs attached to them and then been mapped here. So it is double bit death in the sense that if you run a drum machine into it, it will, in stereo or double, destroy the bits. I think I remember using this on an old Craftworld track, but I'd have to go find it, and it's too much work right now, so skip that for now. What else we got in here? We should try another folder at this point. Random Dawn is not bad. Planet Frank is a good planet. I prefer Planet Piss, but whatever. Yeah, this is definitely a Frank-made patch. Another weird generative thing. I don't know if I really needed all these envelopes here, but it is what it is. Pretty random, pretty Dawn. Let's dive into another folder. Let's try 2013. We will see some of the same guys show up again and again, because I would often, back things up and then mix them together. Ooh, that pack is called Energy Turtle. Cool. I think that's a King of the Hill reference. Yeah. Nice. Jamming on this one. That is a true Energy Turtle. Digitizer, some phaser. Again, using Frank's personal favorite spectral os. We're using some chorus on it. But it's a pretty listenable sequence. And I like the fuzziness and grittiness of it. I'm going to dump this one into the synth too, just because I can. Somebody stop me. Nobody can stop me. I'm going to put it at 50. I know what monoclock patches are. I don't know what Memories of Peru is, though. Let's put them in here at 49. Just so Energy Turtle isn't forgotten about. Let's see if we can hear what Memories of Peru is. We're going to have to jump a bit. I'm clicking the synth's hardware button to get to patch 50. There's Memories of Peru. Oh, wait. No, that's not. Oh, that's 60, sorry. Here's another Marco Etlich. Another pretty traditional synth tone here. It's good, but it's nothing to write home about. Okay, that's fine. So Memories of Peru wasn't what I needed. Keep diving here. Wonder what else I'll find in this folder. Trying to make something dub related, but there's not a lot of patches there. Live Banks probably has something. Here we go. I actually did some sorting. So old generative, meaning self-creating patches that I made. Downloaded generative, meaning that other people made. Downloaded keys is currently empty. And old keys would be patches I had called up before. Let's just listen. I was going to open this one anyway, so let's listen to this. Not bad, but not really amazing. Wonder what we might find here. See, I guess if you look closely, you'll see many of the file names we saw before. There's Busted Machine again. I know what this stands for. Let's see what we get. I don't remember what it sounds like. Interesting. Let's try the knobs. A generative patch. It's got more of an 808 kick to it. Some tonal stuff in the background. Very distorted. Nice kick though. Is it coming out of the Perk Osc 01? Oh no, it's got to be coming out of Drum Synth 01. The knobs have been tweaked. It doesn't have a preset anymore, but it sounds to me like it started at one of the classic presets. Again, that one sounds good because of the sound card's current reverb situation. Microsoft Games. I wonder if this is any good. What a weird... All the cables have been turned off, but it really allows you to see what's going on here. Look at all these percussion oscillators. And we got some of them being audio processed in this column, including ring modulation, which is odd for me. Then we got a bunch of panning going on, which we definitely aren't going to hear right now. The panning goes into the two mixers and into the outputs. You can see also there was a clock here at 160, which is then divided up in 4 different clock dividers, which drive a bunch of the random generators. It's a pretty interesting sounding patch, at least to me. From the name, and this is just self-referential stuff here, but Microsoft Games made Age of Empires, and at least to my ears, I can hear the Age of Empires percussion sort of soundtrack for Age of Empires 1 being recreated on the percussion oscillators here, so it's probably what the name means. Let's see what else we can find in here. My game? Another generative patch with distortion and a relatively regular drum pattern that you can follow. Interesting stuff. Wonder what microphone manual is. Oh, I recognize this one too. Using the cymbal sound and a couple of other percussive tones here. Just to make an odd repeating pattern. I don't know, have we really demonstrated the variety in today's patches? I don't know. Let's try next video and see what we can do. Try the knobs here. Looks like more experience with random tone generation from me. A lot of the modules are in the quote-unquote wrong place by my current rules. All the sound processing is over here. That's bad, but nobody really cares about that. Still seems like an early sort of learning patch. Passing Forest also sounds familiar as a regularly used one. Where's my sound? I didn't actually have to play a note, it played itself, but took a while to get there. I guess that's the Passing Forest that has a large gap between tones. So I like that. That could be a cloud by itself in a larger Game Boy landscape like the one we made in the last session. It's quite complex. Sort of ghostly. Good job, Passing Forest. You passed. Occasional bowl probably refers to singing bowls. I don't own any of those right now, but I would like to get one. Yep. This is me trying to imitate a singing bowl, which is a kind of like a sound healing percussion instrument. Let's give it a moment. Notice that we're using the oscillator sine bank here. The one I said is similar to the 4MS ensemble oscillator. It's so quiet, but I hear what it's trying to do. Maybe if I tweak the knobs. The random pulse generator opens the envelope. The envelope is, the sound is being processed by a quantizer, a filter, a phaser, and a chorus. It's all pretty normal. And when it's not actually playing a note, which it doesn't seem to want to do right now, mostly what you hear is just the noise. But I can hear the note in it. I can hear the tone I was going for. I just don't know why it's so darn quiet. Okay, we'll have to leave that as a mystery, I guess. What else is left in here? Star Trek TNG, that sounds like a good name for a patch. I don't know if it sounds like Star Trek, but it's weird. Got like one high-pitched drone and one wandering bass line. I screwed up in this one because the range is set at 16 when I think it's supposed to be multiples of 12. Which is probably why that bass line isn't always in tune. Oh well, we learn these things over time. Stereo DS Land could be a Game Boy landscape. The DS meaning Nintendo Dual Screen. This one I have actually used in live gigs. So this is a Game Boy landscape that I haven't created in front of your eyes, but rather this one's called Stereo DS Land, and you can see here there's 3 randomly panning things sounds bounce around in your stereo picture. Although this one I do like, I'll admit. Heard most of these ones already. Is Planet Frank any good? I have the feeling it's not, but let's try. I think this one is just too early to be a good patch. I don't really know enough about programming at this time. Like, the reason I can tell it is here's an envelope, which is a modulation envelope, but none of the parameters are being modulated. So nowadays I would know that isn't a good use of CPU processing power, but at the time anyway, it's not super helpful. Here's something from another live set. Ghost Hardware seems to ring a bell. Another classic Game Boy landscape. Here I can actually hear what's going on. So I'll take a moment to very briefly explain it. The sound sources are this noise. They're being vocal filtered and then sent into the phaser or digitizer. So you get almost sounds like a person like whistling kind of. Putting the vocal filter on a noise source is unusual. Another tone I kind of hear is, can you hear a sound that sounds like someone blowing over a bottle? Like, yeah, that sound. I'm hearing the blowing over the bottle sound, but maybe that's yeah, that's a weird one. It's one I wouldn't make today. Today I wouldn't plug a noise into a vocal filter, not because it's bad, it's just not a normal part of my thing. It definitely gets that blowing over a bottle sound. Interesting. Anyway, I can see the battery on my laptop now dying, so I think I'm going to sign off here. I hope this has been an interesting tour through the various presets. Like I said, I'm going to try and do more videos, but shorter. But no matter what, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to normalize the audio before I upload it, no matter how long it takes me to do that, so that we can get the best quality possible. Just going to close by saying yesterday I ordered a big, expensive modular synth case, which I'm going to fill up with almost exclusively with tube modules, whether they are oscillators or processors. And I want to get videos of that up on YouTube too. But I'm happy with myself for putting the micro modular up, and I'm going to keep doing it just because it's a self-contained little environment, so flexible in such a small amount of space. And I can do it during my lunch break at work, which is what I'm doing right now. So, more to come from the Nord Micro Modular, and from other modular configurations in the future as well. So feel free to comment or mention something. You get quite a few views, not a lot of comments, but if there's something you liked or something you'd like to see more of, or even a patch that I played for a few seconds and you're like, hey, I want to hear that more, just say so in the comments field. I'm happy to, slavishly obey whatever my fan base demands. So thank you for tuning in again. Going to sign off. Father Moon, Ghost Hardware here.